can see right now, without LeBron, Lakers are struggling.
Let me tell you about a team I hate, all right? I know the Dallas Cowboy fan is here, so I had to make sure he knew how much I hate this team.
I'm ready.
I've often said that the people who run baseball, they try very hard to ruin it.
I'm from Brooklyn. I don't have a problem saying it to his face. Oh, I'm from Brooklyn. Hey, get any.
This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
What's up, everybody? It's another episode of Coast to Coast. I am your host, Pags. I got with me Bo. McLovin is still on convalescent leave, and he should be back hopefully next week. And StatGuy will show up and leave whenever he feels like it. So, just to let you know when anything can happen here on the Coast to Coast show. Good morning, Bo. How are you?
Doing good, my man. How about you?
Living a dream. Last night was a kind of fun night here in the living room. We had Brian Quinn here, who is the guitarist of Candlebox.
Okay.
And he comes here once a month, and so yesterday was that day. So it's kind of cool when you have somebody come to your living room to play some guitar and stuff like that. So
yeah. Man, starting off with some haters.
Yeah. Especially guys named Jamie. It always comes out of nowhere. There's no chance Kenny Pickett is going to be my starter anytime real soon without an injury happening. So not really thinking about that in the slightest bit.
Yep.
But
how's it going, Wayne?
You know what? I saw one jersey. I saw another jersey. I'm not exactly sure which one's the City Connect that's going to be, but you'll see it when it comes actually out. I think that they wear it because I've seen a couple of leaked photos, and I don't think any of them are good. Yeah, like the one makes more sense to me than the other, but I don't think that there's anything that really stands out as great one way or another. So,
well, that was that was like back in what, 90, I think it was 98 when they did the uniforms of tomorrow or whatever. Like those were all pretty terrible.
So, Chris, that was the one thing that I was going to kind of start off with that. I don't know if anybody's really NCAA fans. I'll be honest, I'm not that guy either. I know I watch some of these games and stuff like that. You want to see it get close and you want to see them come out at the very end. And I will tell you that I've already lost one of my Elite Eight already. Kentucky is gone from that. But my Kansas, my team that's going to the finals, is still in. Thank God that the ref screwed that up.
Right? That was such a clean block. Like, you don't get much cleaner of a chase down block than that.
But ultimately, the guy said it right, though. He's like, normally you're going to get called for that.
Yeah, isn't that reviewable now?
No, that was the problem.
Oh,
That's the issue. It was not reviewable.
It will be next year.
Yeah, it will be now. It will be now. So Samford does not get to go past Kansas. And, although not that it was a guarantee that they were going to win either.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's like
there was still much time left, though.
There was 20 seconds left. So they had to get the block. I guess they would have gotten the rebound and they would have gone back down. But that means they still got to make the shot and have no time left on the clock for Kansas to be able to come up and make a shot. So, I mean, everybody wants to say it absolutely would have guaranteed that they would have won that game. No, but it would have made it much more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, with that amount of time left, they would have fouled immediately. They would have went, say they make them both. Then they have to come down and drain a three, right? Because they were up by one at the time. So, I mean, it would have been harder.
Right. So, but ultimately I think they were only up by one.
Yes.
So he made the two,
Yep.
And it's still now they're only up by three. You can make a 3-pointer,
Exactly.
which they missed, and the rebound, and then the guy got it, and that's then
And
the
then it's a
fouls
wrap.
go into play. So,
Yep.
but ultimately, that doesn't. I understand. I understand that the foul, the foul call comes into play, and there was still 21 seconds left on the clock. So it wasn't like, all right, yes, that could go down as a bad call. I get it. I wish it was reviewable. I wish they could make every call perfect every time.
Yeah, in every sport. Except football, because the game would take forever if they got every call right.
Right,
Because they'd be
exactly.
calling holding constantly.
Well, you know what? Not necessarily. You know what I mean? It's just like the holding. They've defined really what holding is.
Yep.
Don't go outside your shoulders.
Yep. And don't
Stay in,
pull the jersey. Right. Like
yeah,
if you can stay inside, like you can kind of have at that.
you can hold him. If you can hold somebody like this and make sure he doesn't move, then you're doing your job.
Yeah. Well, not just that, but you can bench 1,000,000 pounds for 500 reps to be able to hold those big guys here and actually be able to hold them.
Right, so that they can't move. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that you're not going like this, because ultimately that's where holds get called now.
Yep.
On outside the shoulder lines. But other than that, I mean, yeah, I guess there'd be the tugs of the jerseys, and there'd be holding on every. Be defensive holding on
No,
every
that's what.
play,
Yeah,
just
that's
about.
true. Yeah, it's certainly downfield. Like that
So
would be nonstop.
yeah, it's just like those hand checks and stuff like that. I really like it better when the refs do put the flags away. When
Yeah.
when
Let
it
the guys
comes
play.
to that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like, hey, listen, they got to be able to bat each other off a little bit. Stop crying when you don't get the call. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? That's the other thing. But um, that all being said, yeah, the fact that this play was not reviewable was the oucher on that. That
Yeah,
that that definitely
especially
was.
because it was so clean. Like it wasn't one of those, oh, it's up to interpretation. Like when you saw that in slow mo, like that was one of the cleanest batted balls ever. So I
That you
mean,
could actually come, tap him to, and of course it's called a foul. He makes the two,
it's a whole different
they
game. Absolutely.
right. It's now 3-point game, and then ultimately they miss the foul, they miss the shots, and because had they tied it up right then and there, there'd still be like 9 seconds left to go, and Kansas still could have won the game. You know what I mean? So
For sure.
ultimately, that there was not enough to be able to say that, oh well, they only needed a two, they could have gone underneath, they could have scored it quick, and then there was 14 seconds left for Kansas to come down and score 2 points. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there could have gone any which way there. There's still way too much time. 21 seconds in basketball could take 30 minutes. As
For
we've
sure.
learned. That
Especially
is
with
absolutely, yeah,
fouls, stuff, timeouts. Absolutely.
right. Yeah,
No,
I hear you.
I agree with that, Paul. No doubt.
Yeah,
Now, but the other thing is you also don't want to see him miss obvious calls.
right. So, and it had the most games. It had the most reviews in NCAA history.
No doubt.
I think that tells me that you don't want that ref crew doing too many more games past this round.
I mean, to be fair though, in real time, that one would be hard to get right. Because unless you
Right.
had that camera angle where you could see him miss the fingers, you probably wouldn't know. Like if you saw it from the side, you would have thought that was a foul because 99% of the time it's a foul. But
Right.
so I mean, I even get how they got the call wrong. It needs to be a reviewable play.
Right. And the problem is that they were reviewing every play, it seems like, in that game. Uh, I don't know. To be honest, I didn't even watch the game. So
Yeah,
I
I've
only
only
heard
caught
about it.
highlights. Yeah.
I only heard about it and what have you, but I am happy. I will tell you that they got it right as far as I'm concerned, because at least I've got my finals team still in. I didn't want to lose one of my finals teams in day one.
Crush your entire bracket day one.
It's just like done, done. I got a whole game wrong, like in one of these things. Like, so
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't win very many at all. Like I did all these picks, and truth of the matter was, like, here was I had. Yeah, I'm going to share. I'll share with you what I do have, what I did get right, and what I had BYU, Duquesne won. I had Washington. I had Drake, Washington State won. I had Mississippi State, Michigan State won.
Hmm.
I had Nevada and Dayton won. And that was just on one side. That was just one half of the bracket. Going to the other side, here's where I did good. I was like, okay, yeah. Uh, I picked Texas Tech against Kentucky, and it wound
Okay.
up being NC State and Oakland.
Hmm.
Kentucky, I had all the way going to the Elite Eight. So
All right.
that was a loser there. Thank God I only went so far there. And then I had McNeese over Gonzaga.
Ah, man, you can't pick against the Zags in the first round. Like that's the one round they always do well. Beyond that, 100% you can. But that first round, they are always good week one or day one.
Got you. Well, and then I also chose South Carolina over Oregon. That didn't work out too well for
Yeah.
me either.
I think I would have done that one too. It was funny. Last year, I did great. Last year, I did great in the first round and then got smoked in the second. I think the only ones that I had right last year, I was right up until the final four winners. So I was like, okay, right. Like the rest of my brackets got killed, but it started to come back together, and then the wheels fell
It
off.
fell apart. Then
Absolutely.
it all fell apart. Yeah.
And
I
it
mean,
always
that's I try to keep in. You want to keep in 6 of the 8. That's how many you want to have a chance of possibly winning. You need to have 6 of the 8.
I had 2 of the 4. I picked the wrong 2.
There you go. And now that Kansas is all hurt, thank God. Like I said, thank God that ref screwed it up yesterday, because that's how I got to remain in.
Yep. Sounds like you need to stick to football.
Exactly. And I tell you what, I'm good at picking football games.
Yep.
At just straight money lines when I don't bet any money. The moment
Sure.
I start thinking about money, all of a sudden
Just catching L's.
it's there's a guy on TikTok and Instagram, and it's Book It with Trent. You know what
Okay.
I mean? And I tell you, there's not a bigger mush that I know of than Book It with Trent, and it's amazing. It is amazing how many games he could pick sometimes, like a 6 or a 7 game, and have all of the knowledge behind it,
Yep.
and all 6 be like, if you went the exact opposite, you would have
Hit
hit.
the parlay.
You'd have hit the parlay. Like, he got
Funny.
all 6 parts, all 6 legs wrong. Like,
Wow.
and have all of the knowledge. Now, I don't see him very much. I haven't seen him very much about talking about NCAA, because I haven't been much on TikTok lately. But I tell you, I know that people think that I'm a mush all the time. You know what I mean? That every game I go to, we lose, and that's not the case at all. But everybody loves to believe that. That being said,
You're the reason there's no titles.
I was the reason for COVID.
That's right.
I was the reason why that asteroid hit and killed the dinosaurs
Exactly.
65 million years ago.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's and hopefully he shows up. Because I'm going to start those those videos are going out this week. We are going to make that happen. The hater videos are coming out.
Yeah, we should cut a promo for that.
That is absolutely going to be the case. So, Atlanta Falcon running back has a perfect bracket so far. That's awesome.
Amazing. That is amazing.
Well, hey, listen, that's only 8 games, right?
Still,
You get the other 8 games, or 16 games. Is it 16 games so far? Yeah, because there's 32 games in this first. So that means he's got 16 games right. That's awesome.
It is.
Amazing. Because this is the hardest one to get. Well, if you were able to get past this, it's likely you could win that $1 million.
Sure. Yeah.
Should be $1 billion because there ain't no chance. Nobody's even come close.
To get it
Nobody's
perfect all
ever
the way
even.
through. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
There was one guy who said, "Yeah, I had it, but and that was when he chose that one weirdo team that was going. He's like, yeah, I chose them to win this one and this one and this one. I knew that. And it's like, stop
Nobody
lying,
knew. Yeah, exactly.
because you didn't play it anywhere. Interestingly enough. Oh, I forgot to put. Get out of here. Shut up.
Yeah. Oh, my numbers hit. I just didn't buy a ticket. It's like, yeah, okay, man.
Okay, exactly. My numbers hit all the time. It's that goes back to the gambling thing where I said, when I play 3 card poker and I hit the straight flush,
Yep.
it would have been like $28,000 had I played it.
Yep.
I didn't play it. There's a reason why I didn't play it, because it loses all the time. You know, I
All
just
right.
got that weirdo cent that I wound up getting. Okay, great, lucky me.
Yep.
But so, anyways, that's interesting that a running back was that good at college basketball. So, in the meantime, looking at what news is coming out with anything, and of course, ain't much. There's like nothing. The biggest news story, other than you know Calipari getting his ass knocked out of the tournament with Kentucky,
Mhm.
um, and the games that happened yesterday that had a lot of noise. Yeah, like I says, this is perfect for NCAA. Whenever Stat Guy shows up, I'm sure he'll have a lot to talk about. In the meantime,
Oh, I
the
mean, there
tush
is
push,
there.
is,
Oh, yeah, good.
the tush push, is not going to be banned.
Sure.
The Eagles are going to keep their 92% play.
It never should have even been a question. I mean, it's a quarterback sneak. Everybody can run it. Just because you don't have the personnel to run it doesn't mean that it should be an illegal play, right?
Right.
So the fact that there was even a question is dumb. We'll see if it's as effective without Kelsey in there. Like, it might be, but it very well might not. So we'll see. Because I mean, he had the technique of it down, and he said that it hurt every time he did it. Right. So it'll also depend on if the new guy wants to be in that kind of pain every time they run it.
Well, he says it hurt, but that's because he got piled on.
Yeah, well, and you would, just based on how it is you got to attack that. So does the new guy want to beat himself up that same way? We'll find out.
We will. We will absolutely find out. Truth of the matter is, though, is that most of those times when you are a quarterback and you're in like that, and you have that type of strength, it's not going to matter. It's really not going to matter. It's like uh, they're doing the tush push and they're pushing everybody forward. And by him knocking out that first guy's legs, or the first 2 guys' legs,
Yep,
they collapse. Everybody collapses on top, and it just becomes a push because you're able
exactly.
to squeeze through some of that stuff.
No,
Um,
exactly. It'll just be does your new guy have the same drive that Kelsey does? That'll be the real question.
and he was handpicked by Kelsey, so I can't imagine he shouldn't. And he's been playing as a guard in those, you know, during those times right now. So
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I didn't
ultimately,
think
he's
about
been
that.
a part of that.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
he knows what's going on. So I kind of think this is.
Do have news of let's see, we got Cameron Sutton. He is released by the Lions. Uh, Domestic abuse charge. He has a warrant down in Florida. So Sutton is no longer a Lion.
Yeah, I heard that. That was one of the ones that I saw. I tell you, Paul, I kind of like that. I like that jersey. I'll see if I can get it up there to kind of show. The Phillies City Connect is a darker blue than what
Uh,
their Thursday blues are.
if you send it to me, I can create the slide real quick.
Yeah, I could create it too. It's just a matter of
Oh,
downloading it from. I got to get it off of Facebook Messenger. I very rarely go on Facebook on my computer.
Oh, gotcha. I just figured because I still had it open.
There you go. Yeah, I'll have it in just a sec. But anyways, yeah, I like the jersey. I do. Does Seattle have a City Connect jersey? I thought everybody was gonna
Yeah, I believe they do. They got they have
have
the
one.
old, they have the old writing from the the 70s Mariners. It's a kind of a sky blue jersey. At least that's what it was before.
Okay. Maybe it's not as simple as this. Nope. All right. I thought I had it. It's simple now, but nope. It's not as simple as this. I will send it to you. Such a pain in the ass.
Yep. But yeah,
There we
the
go.
Mariners one has the trident.
They have the Trident one.
Yeah, yeah. So it just says Seattle across the chest, and then the hat has the trident on it. Guess I'll get. I'll make one of those also.
Where are you? Damn.
That's a
I
good
tell you,
question.
there we are. This is where I'm going to do it this way. Send it in. Bam.
Just
I tell you, technology. I am terrible with this stuff.
Where did you send it for me?
In the on Messenger as
Oh,
part of our
Facebook.
4-pack.
Okay.
Yeah. It's part of the
It's always the trouble with talking in like 4 different platforms. Like, where
exactly.
did
That's part of the hard part. And it's such exciting part. It's just exciting stuff here for everybody watching.
that go? Yeah, right. Us fumbling through.
So what a 1-year deal with JD Martinez, the Mets are going to Mets it up. They're very good at that. That's what they do. They Mets it up. You hit $1,000 on a slot machine, my
Hell
man.
yeah. That's
Nice.
what's up.
Drinks on you. Drinks
Right?
on you. Zach Wheeler, he's ready to go already. So it's going to be a good game. One, especially since Strider is going to be their starter, and Strider hates it. Atlanta hates coming to Philly right now. They just hate it. There we go. Voila. Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it. I'm working on it right now.
Just making sure. All right. So, anyways,
And yes, Melissa, happy Friday.
it is that time of it's a TGIF. I'm just waiting to be able to go downstairs and enjoy a cocktail or 4.
Yep. Nope, I'm with you. That is absolutely going to be a thing today. Mostly because of all this moving, I am just over all of it. So I'm ready for a cocktail.
I hate moving. I so hate moving.
It is the worst.
In fact, and it is the worst. And I'll be honest, I don't ever ask for help, and I don't ever want to help anybody else. I'm never going to do that. When I finally get
help,
to the,
but I never ask. I always try to.
Yeah, hey,
I was
listen,
trying to do everything except for like moving a couch or something. Then you just have to have more hands. But
right. So going into casinos and playing the slots is, I mean, again, that's kind of straight luck. Yeah, it's very rare that you find a slot machine that you can go ahead and start to, like just get that lucky. I mean, I'll be honest. I remember one time, I went to the casino and I was down to I was out of money and I loaned my buddy $10 and he threw it back to me. and I put that $10 on a craps table, and $2,500 later, I came back and, well, was very happy about that. You
Yeah,
know, I was like, hey, I got all my money back plus $2,500. I'm happy. And
absolutely.
here it is, the
So
City
that actually looks
Connect.
pretty good. That's a pretty solid looking jersey.
Yeah, I like that. It kind of makes it so I have a jersey similar to that. That is more like Sixers colors.
Okay. Yeah.
So ultimately, like that would be like I would probably so the blue is what's would be this and the hair. Um which means that I would probably because the Sixers colors I use red as the main base,
Okay.
I would probably use white as the main base. Because if I used blue in
Yeah.
this with a white outline in red, that would absolutely in that jersey I would absolutely look like Papa Smurf.
So you're wrong. You have to do that.
Well,
For
it's the
sheer
Papa
entertainment
Smurf look
value.
now. It is the Papa Smurf look now, but
Yeah.
it's with the jersey that I use, it's
Oh, the other one was behind it. Seattle's.
oh, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, so that's ours. So we got the old Trident from the late 70s, early 80s, and then just says Seattle, but yeah, not a terrible looking jersey either. Really,
Yeah, it's
it still uses all their base colors.
right. Yeah, that kind of reminds me of like an old style jersey, like an old style uniform in general.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. That's why I said like they're. It looks like a throwback jersey more than anything.
Right. And that connects to your city.
So it does.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I'm asking. That's
Yeah.
part of
No,
the
well, yeah, because that that the Trident was what their first logo, I think, or their second logo. So I mean, it does tie to the city, right? Because it's back to where the Mariners started. So that would be their connection.
gotcha. But the blue and the yellow is part of
Yeah, it's part
those
of it.
are like the city colors and stuff like that. All right. All right. Yeah. If that is the one now, that's the third different jersey. The jersey that they showed there from the City Connect. I don't know where he got that from. That's the third one that I've seen.
Oh, okay.
Now, the the first one I was like, no, there's no chance that's it. There's no chance. You know. Uh the second one made sense to me. Was like, okay, I kind of see that. That also kind of makes sense to me because they're not changing the Phillies at all. Like
Yep.
that's the big thing. Like my thought is that they would need the P to remain as part of
Oh,
that. So
absolutely.
and that was not what they saw in that first one that I saw. They used a whole different font. I'm like, no, there ain't no chance that the Phillies are doing that. So I don't know. And the other thing is that Nike is only allowing 4 jerseys to be made. So
Oh, okay.
because of that, that jersey. So we have the Phillies are going to be in their pinstripes. They have their creams. They have this whatever the City Connect jersey is, and then they're going to have their grays, and that's it. They're not before we had our Thursdays and then we had our practice jersey, which was the fifth jersey. And then for St. Patrick's Day, they made a green jersey, the sixth jersey.
Oh, okay.
So but they're Nike's not doing that, which kind of pisses me off. It's like, hey, you do what we say, not what you want.
Yeah.
But
Did you guys not do a jersey of tomorrow thing back then? Were you guys not part of that?
What jersey of tomorrow?
Again, I want to say it was 98, but so it was like they were basically tank tops.
Oh,
I was trying to see if you guys had one.
I don't think so.
Huh.
I've never seen him wear anything that was similar to a tank top. But in '98, I wasn't going to. Well, no, I was going to as many games because you could go to those games really cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you guys didn't do one of those. Weird. I thought the whole league did.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it. The jerseys of tomorrow.
Yeah. No, I'll send you this one because I have one of Griffey. Some history lessons here on Coast to Coast. Oops.
You're just gonna add it as a slide, or
Yeah. Have it to you in just a sec. But yeah, I'm just going to put it in as a slide there. It's PDF. Bam.
very exciting show today as we are
Right.
working on technology stuff. So
Well,
so
usually I
let's.
have these worked out, but the show went a little different direction than I was planning today. There we go. Should be coming through right now. Yep.
There it is. Voila.
So yeah, this was back in, I believe it was 98. This was the uniform of tomorrow or jersey of tomorrow. I forget exactly what they called it. Yeah, I thought for sure that every team had a version, but this was the Mariners version right here. I don't know which tomorrow they were talking about because where we never saw these was on the field ever again. Although I think some of the players probably would like them.
It doesn't show.
But yeah, I was scrolling through for the Phillies. I didn't see anything for you guys, so not sure what that was about. But I thought everybody played them.
Yeah, interestingly enough, they do not have that jersey listed from 1980. They have them from 1989 to present.
And nothing,
But
no
and the Phillies
special
jersey
event.
hasn't really changed much.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, I think they only played one game in them. So I mean, it's not like it's not like it was something that hung around. I think it was just one game or like a weekend's worth of games or something. To be fair, I don't
1998, you
remember
think?
exactly. 98 was kind of a while ago.
Yeah, they don't really have the Diamondbacks wore 13 different uniform combinations
Wow.
that year.
That sounds like Ducks football right there. Every game is a different uniform.
Yeah, and it doesn't really show. There's nothing that I see that kind of
Mirrors that. Yeah.
They had the all burgundy, which was a practice uniform that they liked wearing, and it's a shame because they loved wearing that. That would be the alternate Thursday jersey that they would do on the road.
I got
But
you.
yeah, nope. Mom liked those. She liked those jerseys. This one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, they only got to play in them like one game or two games or something. But
I mean, that one doesn't look too bad.
no, it wasn't terrible. And honestly, as a player, I probably would have liked a tank top. Then you wouldn't have had the Ichiro, pull the sleeve up to be able to bat thing. Like you wouldn't have had that whole thing because you wouldn't have had a sleeve at all.
It doesn't say Philly. Like I'm even looking for a specialty jersey.
Yeah.
For the Phillies, and it's not.
Yeah, I didn't see anything that looked even remotely close. Very strange.
Yeah, like the jersey that I have is. Yeah, that's not really a fun one either. Nope. Yeah, I'm just trying to see
Oh,
if they had
it
anything.
just says many teams, not all teams. So, oh, you did have one. You did have one.
We?
It was just red, and it was sleeves cut off. And it was just red with red Philly. Sup, StatGuy?
Not much.
But yeah, so not all the teams had it.
Understood. Okay. Got it.
Interesting.
But the Phillies did take part of that.
They did. They were one of the teams.
So the question on hand, stat guy. How many wings did you wind up eating?
Did you even walk inside?
Well, I ordered 48.33.
Oh, you were doing work.
Yeah, I was hungry.
How long were you there?
By the time I got inside, it was 1:45, and I left at 7.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No, that's fair.
So,
Yeah,
it was technically like 2 orders of 20. I did an order of 20 right away, and then I did another order of 20 at like 5:30.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Nice. And
So
how is your
what's
bracket
your week?
looking so far?
Yeah, one of my final 4 teams went out, so great. Just wonderful.
Kentucky?
No, I had Kentucky losing next round.
Oh.
McNeese
Which one of your
State.
final 4 teams?
McNeese State losing to Gonzaga.
Man, why did you can't bet against Zags in the first round, man? Like they'll disappoint you later, but that first round, they have a history of winning. Next round, next round they'll be a problem.
I thought that McNeese State had a better chance. They got manhandled quick.
Yeah, they honestly, I've watched I think probably 7 or 8 of their games this year, and that was probably the worst game they played all year, and they picked the worst time to do it.
Right. It's because the Zags are okay, but they ain't great right now.
No.
You know what I mean? It's like they were definitely a beatable team.
They are, but it's funny. It doesn't matter if they're ranked first or last or whatever. The first game in, they do okay. After that, man, it's a coin flip. You have no idea. But that first game in they're usually showing out, and they're in there every year. So I mean, they have a lot of practice at it. But yeah, after that, they fall apart. And it's been frustrating because there's so many times they've been the number 1 seed,
which they never should be, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But the thing is I mean, they don't hardly make it to the Final 4, right? Most of the time they'll flame out in, the Elite 8.
Yeah. I had a long conversation this morning on another show that one of my friends does, and we were basically saying how we're both pretty much done with the conference tournaments now because you're rewarding a team that gets hot for 3 days, and you're taking away a possible berth from a team that has the longevity of the body of work. And we used Indiana State as an example. Indiana State won 26-8. They finished the season number 21 in the country, and they did not get into the field because they did not win their conference tournament. How do you keep a team that was in the top 25 all year?
Win.
I mean, I think Oakland's the one that beat them, which Oakland ended up beating Kentucky last night, but still.
I mean, that's the thing. I don't feel that bad if you got your conference tournament, win the tournament. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, at 26-8 in their conference, and I mean, they're in what, the Big Ten?
No, they're like in the Horizon, I believe, or something like that. So
that's part of it.
They were 13-1 in the conference during the regular season, and then they ended up losing in the semifinal of the Horizon League tournament. They still don't get in the field despite going 26-6 or whatever the record was and being ranked 21 in the country. So they had their RPI was better than North Carolina State. Their RPI was better than Gonzaga. Their RPI was better than St. Mary's.
But yet they didn't get voted in.
Nope.
But they didn't win
They ended Why? Because only one team makes it from there.
Yeah, because it's
That conference.
yeah, usually, unless you have like a situation where when Butler made it to the Final Four those couple of years in a row, Butler was so good that they were going to get in no matter what they did in the conference tournament, and then whoever else won the conference tournament would get the automatic berth, but Butler would still get in as like a 4 or a 5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but if
I
you're
mean,
in the top 20, like if you're in the top 25, if you're in the AP top 25, you
sure.
should get bids.
Yeah,
That should be
and
automatic.
that's what
Them
Indiana State
losing
was.
the conference, they lost to Oakland's.
In that they lost to Oakland in the conference semifinals, not even the conference
And
final.
Oakland won the final, and then so ultimately Oakland wins the spot that they were going to get anyways.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
that's what
Yeah,
I
I
I
said.
don't
mean,
know.
that's the thing is it's like I'm I get the uproar in the Florida State situation, right? They go undefeated. There's nothing else they could have done. But in
Yeah.
this case, you don't win your championship. I don't feel that bad for you. If you want to get in, win. Like,
The way I feel about it though, like I put the body of work that a team does over a 5-month season as opposed to the body of work that happens over a weekend. Because if you're down one player in that conference tournament, that could be the difference of you winning it and not winning it.
I mean, that's no different than having a solid baseball season and then you have that one game play in because you had a tied record.
Yeah.
If you lose, you're out. Like it just and
Yeah.
baseball is the most marathon style sport there is, right? But and then it all comes down to the one game. So I mean, again, like that's one of those. If you want in, win. Now when it's voting and you did win and then you get held out, that's where I have a problem. But if you go and you lose the conference and going in, if we want in, we have to win the we have to win that series, then I mean, I don't feel that bad for you. And maybe that's because I always played football and it's a one and done every time anyway.
Right. Yeah, that's the one thing I do like about the tournaments is that you have to get hot to be able to do this the proper way.
Mhm.
I mean, there's never going to be a 16 seed that wins this. Never. It's just that'll
Probably.
never happen. But we're getting closer and closer to see a 12 seed or an 11 seed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like that's absolutely.
Well, what seven dogs won this weekend or yesterday, right? Last 2 days, something like that.
Yeah. Yesterday,
So I mean, the upsets definitely happen.
I mean, but what do you consider an underdog though? I don't always look at the seed itself as an underdog. Yes, like I understand like a 5-12. If a 12 wins, they're considered an underdog, but you got to look at who that 12 seed is.
Sure.
Like for example, today James Madison against Wisconsin. I have James Madison beating Wisconsin, and I have him beating Duke in the next round.
Okay.
James Madison is a 12 seed, but they are actually favored to beat Wisconsin today as a 5. But everyone's going to be like it's an upset because they were the 12. It's like, no, they were favored to win. They're just a 12 seed because their conference is not as strong as the Big Ten, so they're not going to be placed as a good seed.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you can look at it two ways because then at the same time they got through an easier conference.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here and I'm looking at one of the things, and the NBA is going to shut down the G League's Ignite.
Okay.
Does it surprise you?
Well, they stink this year.
They don't stink. Stink's putting it lightly.
So I'm assuming that's the reason why they are cutting it, because they stink this year. They're in the G League. I mean, this means they're playing against the NBA's team, right? The NBA teams, they're AAA teams or they're AA teams, right?
Yeah.
The G League is AA.
It's the only developmental league that they have, so I don't even consider it a developmental league anymore because you're now having guys that are like 32, 33 years old that just want to play basketball going into it now. And then the G League Ignite was the team that they created for the college kids that didn't want to go to college. Like Scoot Henderson and Jalen Green, instead of going to college, they were able to sign that contract to go with the G League Ignite. So it's more than just a developmental league now. Now I think it's kind of like what the USL Champions League is for soccer. It's not quite at the level as the MLS, but it's still considered like a professional level.
Got him. Then these are players now that can't
90
make it in the NBA anymore, and just
So 90% of the G League roster is either second round picks that were drafted in the second round because they don't have that guaranteed contract like the first round pick. You're still under team control for 2 years, but you don't have that guaranteed contract. Undrafted free agents that basically are signed to like those 30-day contracts, and you kind of play your way into a 2-way deal, or you just play your way into like a season long contract, or guys that are like 33, 34 years old that may have been out of the league for a couple of years and they feel like they got something left in the tank that they just want to be like, hey, I'll sign $100,000 to come play basketball.
okay. So the Ignite is not going to be a thing anymore.
Nope, they're 2-29.
Oh, I have them as 6-40.
They are 2-29. So they play two parts of the season. So there is the first half of the year is called the Showcase Cup, which is basically a 16-game season from beginning of October through Christmas. And the top 8 teams go to Vegas to compete in the Showcase Cup.
It's in the in-season tournament.
Yeah, it's like a 4-month-long in-season tournament, basically. And then 2 weeks after that Showcase Cup ends is when the regular season starts, and that's usually like a 32 to a 34 game season. So in the regular season part of the schedule, the G League Ignite are 2-28. They've lost 10 straight, and they've lost 19 of their last 20.
Oof. How'd you like to be that one team that lost to them? Like, how did that happen?
Well, I mean, the one team that lost to them is 6-24.
Oh,
so
okay.
They're not much better.
So that was a competitive game.
Right.
Terrible, but competitive.
Interesting. So, but could you say that the NIL squashed this now? Is that what occurred? I mean, I got to imagine. So there was a part of this that probably had to deal with the fact that there were some athletes that are just not students.
Yep.
That's where this came from. That you're not going to be able to walk into college at any stretch because you just can't. You don't have the aptitude or the care to even do any schoolwork.
Zion Williamson is like a prime example of this.
I was a prime example of that.
Like when Zion Williamson went to Duke, Coach Caven admitted that he showed up to class like 3 times once the season started because he knew 2 things. He knew he wasn't a good student, and he knew he was only going to be at Duke for 1 year, so what was the point of even him going to class?
Right.
So he was literally going there to get, obviously he got his school paid for, but he was going there for the image. He was going there to get as much experience to be that number 1 pick, which is, I think, why the NIL came into play, because now if you have a player or a student that's not a good student, at least he's forced to kind of at least stay there to be like, I'm going to get NIL money, because otherwise we're not going to pay you if you're not going to show up to class.
Yep.
Well, yeah, but there again, it's still going to do something in the class. Because ultimately, truth of the matter is that if you are getting paid by the NIL, you shouldn't get a scholarship anymore.
Exactly.
That's what I feel. But then it's like the NIL, should be paying the scholarship.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where that should go. Then you should reduce. That's what should happen. You're getting a reduction of your scholarships for every NIL deal that's over a certain amount of money. Because I got to imagine that there are some NIL deals that are paying people like $10,000.
Yeah,
some kids are getting $10,000.
You should be able to keep your scholarship at that point because that wouldn't pay your tuition.
Right.
Yeah, so I would imagine there has to be a threshold.
But ultimately, I still believe that they should absolutely be made to pay.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't get paid the big bucks. and that's also the reason why the inmates run the asylum in the NBA.
Yeah.
That being said, But yeah, I just saw that. I was like, huh, that's a kind of a little bit of a surprise that
which could actually make things more interesting in college basketball too, because now the players that were directly going to the G League Ignite, like Jalen Green, Scoot Henderson, and some of those players in recent years that declined on going to college to go to the G League Ignite, so they could make like I think it was like $250,000 or $300,000 a year is what they could make like right out of high school. Now these kids are going to be forced to go to college because they're not going to have that outlet to not go to college anymore to go and get paid unless they go overseas. But if you go overseas, you're tied into a 3-year contract. So now you're not hitting the draft until you're 21, as opposed to you go 1 year in the G League and then you can hit the draft at 19.
Yeah,
that's the minimum contract you could get is a 3-year.
If you go overseas out of high school, the minimum contract is 3 years. Which is why when you see so many international players get drafted, like Jokic, and when what the heck's his? I can't remember his name, but Jokic was obviously a second round. But when you see all these international players get drafted in the NBA in the first round, they're always between 20 and 21 because they have to serve that 3-year contract overseas.
Well, Jokic was the one that actually brought it out to, hey, listen, we're going to have to start really thinking about doing these guys faster or doing these guys, look at these guys better because they are more developed. They are more like traditional juniors and seniors in college.
Or in Luka Doncic's case, he just started playing at 16. So then by the time he was 19, his 3-year contract was up, and then he got drafted at 20. He just started playing at 16 as opposed to waiting until 17, 18.
I mean, that works.
Right, but he came from where?
He came from
Serbia?
Lithuania/Serbia. He played in Serbia, but he was from Lithuania because Lithuania doesn't have like the same type of competition that Serbia does.
Well,
I got you.
not only that, they also don't have the schools.
Yeah.
That's what it also comes down to. It's not like because I mean, let's face it. I don't ever hear about Oxford's basketball team doing wonderful things.
True.
You know what I mean? So it's like I don't ever hear about the college experience in Europe.
Yeah, because look at Lauri Markkanen. Obviously, you guys know who Lauri Markkanen is. He was born and raised in Finland, so he was in Finland, and they gave him the option. They said, if you go directly from whatever high school he was in Finland to play for some team in Serbia, you have to stay here for 3 years, which would put you at 21 before you went to the draft. He went to the University of Arizona for 1 year, came out and was the number 6 pick. That way he didn't have to sit for that 3-year contract. He just did his 1-year contract, 1 year at school, got drafted, and that's why you see all these players now go to the G League because it gets them out of college. It gets them the professional competition that they want, like in the G League, but it keeps them out of that 3-year foreign contract so they can get to the NBA faster.
And until somebody actually starts to put towards the money, the same type of money that the NIL is putting towards some of these universities, the problem is that the universities have a large sum of money.
Yeah.
These universities are $1 trillion organizations anymore. It's known, or 100 billions of dollars. You know what I mean? That's what it is. I got to imagine that we're dealing with trillions of dollars now. Like it's just about. You know what I mean? Yeah. I got to imagine. Like I said, I never hear about Gonzaga's football program.
They don't have one.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. Yeah.
So that's why. They make all their money off of basketball. They make all their money off of basketball. Let's go. You look at Georgia. Georgia makes all their money off of football, although they have a pretty decent basketball program.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Same thing with Alabama. Alabama has a decent. I guess Arizona, it's a mix of both because Arizona actually does better in basketball than it does in football, but they probably make more money in football.
Well, that's the Washington Huskies, right? Like they're primarily a football school, but they've had times where their basketball program has been good.
Yep. And I think people fail to realize too, which reason why I think a lot, like even if you have like Duke, for example, Duke's basketball is going to make more money because their basketball team is better than their football team.
No doubt.
But the money is actually not that much of a difference because you have to take into consideration, yes, the marketing and everything plays into it. But for basketball, you're getting 8,900, maybe 9,000 people per game. Yep. For football, you're getting 41 to 44,000. So, yes, there's less games, obviously, that they're going to have for football. But when you have a team like Alabama, that for football, you're bringing in 110,000 people per game, as opposed to like 10, 11,000 people per game for basketball, the money's a lot closer than what people think. But obviously, when you're a better football program, you're going to make more.
Well, and of course, you also have the TV contract is much more lucrative in football than it is. So, I mean, they have their share of those TV contracts that also is significantly higher.
So it's really only 9,300
At Cameron?
seats in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a big stadium at all. It used to be a church.
Well, I mean, when I look at it now, it actually makes sense to me. You see, it makes me want to.
It used to be a church. The church stopped being used, I think, in 1937, 38, and then by 1940s is when it turned into Cameron Indoor.
Yeah. So, in retrospect, North Carolina's got 22,000.
Yeah.
You would think Duke would actually spend more money there. But Duke actually does make money in football.
Yeah. Because their football team has finally gotten decent.
Not really. Their team stinks.
They still won 9 games last year. Yeah, Smith Center's like 20. Smith Center's 22,000. Where NC State plays, they play at PNC Arena, which is 17, 18,000 because it's the same arena that the Carolina Hurricanes play in.
There you go. So, I mean, I guess I got to imagine that a ticket at Duke to go to a Duke game is tremendously a lot more money. A lot more money.
Cheapest ticket, depending on the game, obviously. But if you just go based on like a regular non-conference game where they're going to come in and beat the ever-living crap out of somebody, cheapest ticket's about $70.
That's at the very top, and I imagine the students don't have to pay that either. The students probably.
For like a higher level non-conference game, for like when Arizona went there this year, your cheapest ticket was about $250. But then when you start getting the ACC play, like when North Carolina gets here, you're not going to find a ticket under $1,000.
That makes sense to me. So yeah, because when you only have 9,000 tickets, it's expensive.
Yeah. And there's like there's like a 45-year wait for season tickets there. So I mean, those people are forking out cash left and right.
Wow. We got Germany in the house.
Nice. Awesome.
Good to see you guys. Appreciate that. I heard that I actually am big in Germany. Was ist los? That's what's up. I learned that was ist los, Leiter, is what's up, everybody. I know I probably killed it. So he's probably like, yeah, I was a fan, not anymore.
Yeah, right.
Probably out.
All of a sudden, he's already out of the straight coming on walking this channel.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, damn. I thought I liked this guy. Now he's killing my language. But anyways, I tell you what. Let's take our quick commercial break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit about the potential first pick in the draft. And we're going to see if we're going to talk a little bit about it, and even we're going to add a poll to the mix. So we'll be back right after these commercial messages in just a moment. I mean, you can see right now, without LeBron, Lakers are struggling.
Let me tell you about a team I hate, all right? I know the Dallas Cowboy fan is here, so I had to make sure he knew how much I hate this team.
I'm ready. I've often said that the people who run baseball, they try very hard to ruin it.
I'm from Brooklyn. I don't have a problem saying it to his face. Oh, from Brooklyn. Hey, get any...
Trisha's having a sleepover tonight. Can I go?
I wonder about Lucy's friends. What should I say? I know you're only 10, but one of these days a friend will offer you a drink. And alcohol at your age can lead to so many things. None of them good.
So can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me
I
something.
finished my homework.
Bigger promise. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, No thanks, not my thing.
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
Sure.
Really?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Sometimes, all you need to change your life is a sign. A sign that says, Hank, this is the place you've been looking for. And sometimes that sign is an actual sign that's mounted to a building. 1 second, I'm looking at a sign. I know what you're thinking, and no, I don't love B-dubs just because I'm a buffalo with wings. Frankly, that's offensive and reductionist. Cause this place, come on. It's like they took beer and made it into a place and then gave that place sports and chicken wings. And the people, Cuba, the best. Oh! What the is going on, Marty? This isn't a game, this is trivia! Yeah, this place is kind of like heaven. You know, without needing to get hit by a bus. Let's go, sports bar!
Supporting the needs of our veterans. That's the goal of all of us at Team AmVets. Like Mitch, Carlos, and Kevin from our Welcome Home team that brings furniture to our vets.
We are Team AmVets.
Or Linda from our thrift stores who brings you great bargains every day.
I am Team AmVets.
And John, who picks up your thrift store donations that support California veterans programs.
I am Team AmVets.
Visit our website or a Team AmVets thrift store to donate or shop today.
Join the team!
This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
And welcome back to the second hour of Coast to Coast. And as I was saying before we went off, we're going to start this one off with a poll. And Bo, I'm going to have you lead this one off.
Just quick thing while we were on break. I looked at something. I just found a website just because I was curious because we were just talking about what schools make financially. So I ended up going into Duke's financial records to figure out what their athletic program makes per year. Basketball is the only sport in that school that is not losing money.
Wow.
Football lost $13 million in net profit this year. Women's basketball lost $4 million. Lacrosse is losing a couple million, things like that. Men's basketball made $64 million in net profit. And that $64 million alone puts their university $33 million in profit gain. So basketball alone has basically financially stabilized that university's money for athletics.
Crazy. That was Duke?
Yep.
Wow.
And that's just their basketball program because everything else is a loser.
So yeah, out of one sport alone, with a stadium that only holds 9,000 people, single-handedly financially stabilizes every other sport in that university.
That's pretty amazing.
Even if they have a bad year. I got to imagine, I wonder what happened with Villanova. I guess Villanova's probably in that same boat.
Oh, you'd have to think so, yeah.
Interesting. All right. That's good to know. Thank you.
And there you go. Good start with the German language.
I tell you.
Well, at least the show's going smoothly today.
It's always different. Always something going on. Perfect. I appreciate that. Continent to continent. We're working on it.
That's right. We're just hitting all the coasts. We don't say U.S. coast. We're just saying all the coasts, coast to coast.
Coast to coast everywhere.
That's right.
So Bo, tell us about what we've got going on here.
Yeah, so obviously the Caleb Williams thing, he's, for all intents and purposes, going to be going to the Bears unless they, pull something different at the last second. But it looks like he's going to go there. If you're watching on TV, if you hit that QR code, you can vote in our poll. And basically the 3 selections is he's going to be a top tier quarterback. He's going to be mid, or he's going to be a bust altogether. Now, obviously fit matters, right? I mean, there's going to be situations where I think he probably has a better opportunity than going to the Bears. But if he ends up at the Bears, we'll see what happens. But because of some of the things that he says, it reminds me a little bit of Manziel. And now I don't think he's going to flame out the way Manziel did, because I would have to imagine this kid has a better work ethic than Manziel. But some of the things that comes out of his face is reminiscent of that. So I was like, well, let's run a poll. Let's see what people think. And of course, as the poll sits currently, this poll has been it's been up since.
So I just voted on the poll. I actually used the QR code.
Perfect.
And top tier quarterback is at 24%.
Yep.
Mid is at 45%. My vote, bust, is at 31%.
Yeah. Which, I mean, realistically, 31% is a pretty high percentage on a kid that's going to be going number 1.
Yeah. I mean, you figure that they would be somewhere around 33%. And the fact that top tier has got like 25%, it's actually still pretty good.
Now, that's pretty solid. I didn't want to say elite, right? But top tier, right? So like I figure that would be kind of that, top 8 to 10 type of quarterback I could see. Mid would be, mid, your game manager. And then a bust would be, Manziel.
So we're looking at, I guess good way of explaining that would be Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, and pick 6 Daniel Jones.
Yeah, for using all guys that are still in the league, absolutely. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I got him as pick 6 Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I kind of have him as I feel like there's too much hype. So I think ultimately it'll be a bust. Plus, the Bears just have a knack for doing the wrong thing consistently. So even if he was going to have a lot of talent, will it translate to wins in Chicago? Man, I don't know. I don't feel confident about it.
Well, I don't think Chicago is going to have the team that he's going to be able to do anything with. And, I feel like that Chicago really blew it by trading away their, number 1 pick.
Yeah. I think where this becomes a little bit of an issue is, some of the media is hyping him up as he's the next Pat Mahomes, right? Or like a better version of Pat Mahomes, which is crazy to me. So I feel like there's so much hype to that the odds of letting everybody down is really high, right? But I mean, that's like going to a movie where they've been hyping it up all summer. It comes out and you watch it and you're like, it's all right.
That's mid.
Yeah. Like, could have been better. Like, in my head, this was going to be a much better film. I think ultimately that's going to be Caleb Williams at this point.
Well, I feel that he is going to come in here and he's going to start thinking things way too much.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if it's going to be Johnny Manziel type.
I don't think he's going to bust that hard.
Oh, no. I think he will.
Yeah?
I think he absolutely will bust that hard.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be different. I think you're going to see who was it? Ryan Leaf?
No, I don't think it'll be that hard.
Where it's like
I think DeMarcus Russell.
Okay. So when you say you don't think he's going to bust out hard, do you mean like the prison term or like his football career?
I think Jamarcus Russell is being hyped up a lot like Caleb Williams. And Jamarcus Russell had all the talent in the world to be a legitimate quarterback, but he didn't have that mental maturity to make it in the NFL. And that's kind of what Caleb Williams has right now, where he has all the talent in the world to be a great quarterback. It's just that he doesn't have the mental maturity to understand that when things aren't going your way, you need to adapt, which is something he didn't do.
And that's actually why I made the Manziel comparison. Do I think he's going to be the train wreck that he was? No, but do I think when situations get bad, his brain turns into a bag of cats? I think it very well could be that.
I think he pulls an Eli Manning, honestly.
Just saying I won't go. Maybe.
I think Chicago drafts him number 1 and he pulls an Eli Manning because I think there's one team that he wants to go to, but he knows he's not going to go there because they picked too far down.
Yeah.
So he's going to be more like I don't know if it's Eli Manning. He's going to be more like a John Elway. John Elway also didn't want to play where he went. Where he went.
I think Caleb Williams wants to go to the Raiders.
Yeah, but I don't see them getting him.
Me either. But I mean, I get why you.
If that was to occur, then that's even better. Even more so that he'll be bust.
Going to the Raiders? Yeah, I could see that. I can get on board with that for sure.
I'm just talking about even if he gets drafted and if he plays this game, I'm not going to go play for Chicago. Absolutely be a bust. A big bust.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. But, all right. So we'll see. Like I said, but go and vote on this. We'll put it back up here again in a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, and then, when that poll closes out at the end of next week, we'll go over what the final numbers were.
Yeah, I think he's I think he's going to be an absolute bust. But that's why they pay all of these other people big money.
That's right. Yeah, they pay guys like Mel Kiper, who is always wrong and somehow is on ESPN every year.
Well, you know why? Because he's able to make somebody gets to do, okay, I know all about this guy, I'll know all about this guy, and I can do a whole mock draft by myself.
Yeah, another reason why he's always on ESPN too is for every prospect that guy gets wrong, he makes an organization billions of dollars by hitting on one of them.
True.
Because look at when Patrick Mahomes was drafted, all these other people kept saying that Mahomes is like a late first, early second. Mel Kiper's like, he's the best quarterback in this draft. Whoever takes him is going to get a home run. Kansas City takes him, and look what happened.
Yeah, I mean, eventually you're accidentally going to get a couple right.
That's why he stays on there, because like he can get 28 of the 32 picks wrong in the first round. But if he gets those 4 picks right and they end up panning out what he says, those 4 teams got franchise players for a decade plus.
Yep.
Yeah, but you still wouldn't even know that. Like, you didn't know that the first year that they got him.
No, he sat.
Yeah, exactly. So
like he was behind Alex Smith. So I mean, it's not like you had any idea. And honestly, I think that's going to be part of the problem that Caleb Williams is going to run into. Is he's going to be asked to be the franchise day one. I don't think he's mentally prepared for that.
Not what Chicago's media. He is not.
Exactly. Like
he thinks Los Angeles' media is bad. He ain't seen nothing until he gets to Chicago media and you start struggling 3 weeks into your NFL career.
Exactly. He will get torched by the media there.
And there's not a second football team around to be able to hide yourself with.
Exactly.
You know, they have that with baseball.
LA and New York.
So, yeah. Well, nobody cares in LA. Nobody cares in LA. That's the thing.
There's too much other stuff going on. You have the Dodgers and the Lakers. So if you suck playing football in Los Angeles, you have the Dodgers and the Lakers, and you can hide yourself behind them every year.
Well, and even if that's not the case, you're just like, oh, it's 80 and awesome. Let me go to the beach.
Right? Let me go to the boardwalk and skateboard and rollerblade and do everything else.
Oh, hey, listen, I wish him the best, but I think I'm going to be right.
You know, at the end of the day, for shows like ours, whether he's successful or he's not, it works.
Actually, I feel that we have more to talk about if he fails miserably.
No doubt. No doubt.
Because then we could say we were right.
True. Although if he's super successful, somebody is going to keep, this bookmarked and be like, "You guys are dumb," and be like,
"You guys are stupid."
Right? Be just my response to that is, "You're not wrong."
I mean, well, at the same time though, like as an analyst, as like a scout, as anything, you know you're gonna get things right. You know you're gonna get things wrong. It comes with the job. Like you can't expect to go everywhere and be like, by the way, I've gotten every single prospect right that I've scouted. I've gotten every single prospect right that I've looked at. So you know there's gonna be things that you hit or miss with. I just find it funny how like when they miss or like when they hit on somebody, it's not like it was a home run hit. Like you always saw the potential, like you always saw the potential in Josh Allen.
Sure.
And he may not have reached his full potential ever because he turns it over too much, but at least you could see what people saw in him. But then when they miss on players like Patrick Mahomes, especially saying he has no footwork, he doesn't have a great arm, he doesn't have accuracy, and you've seen what he's done, it's just like, how did you miss that bad on him when he was in college? Like, yes, I understand he made a lot of mistakes, but Cliff Kingsbury was his head coach, and Texas Tech really didn't have much around him, so it's not like he was able to showcase what he can do.
Yeah. Well, that's why you don't see analysts typically out there like, "Oh, I got this one right," and like, bang.
Well, and it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder going the opposite way. Then, I think, because did he help Cliff Kingsbury get a job?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, definitely did.
100%. Because look who Caleb Williams' quarterback coach was last year. Cliff Kingsbury.
So obviously he's good at getting quarterbacks
together.
Quarterbacks.
He's a good OC. He's a good quarterback coach. I'm not going to take anything away from him on that. He's just not. He's like the Josh McDaniels. He's not cut out to be an NFL head coach. He's very good when it comes to working with quarterbacks, and he's very good when it comes to calling plays. He's just not very good at leading a team and leading everything that goes with it.
Yeah. I mean, nothing wrong with that. You find your wheelhouse and you just stick to it.
I mean, look at Eric Bieniemy. The guy might never become a head coach, but he's going to be the highest paid offensive coordinator in the league every single year because he knows how to run an offense.
No doubt.
Well, he's in college now, so he's not even going to be.
Yeah.
Which is probably where he should stay. Yeah, I mean, the problem is he'll be looked at so much better in college than he would be in the pros.
Yeah.
He's always going to be fighting the battles that he's fighting right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, I assume there was a reason why Vic Fangio never got a head coaching job.
He did. He was in Denver for 3 years.
There you go. All right. And it didn't work out. He went back to being a defensive
he was
coordinator.
in Denver for 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, and he was like the Arthur Smith of Denver. Like, he was never great, but he was never terrible. They won 7-8 games every year that he was there. It was just that he did not have a quarterback. It was Drew Lock. It was
Osweiler.
It was Trevor Siemian. I mean, he never had a quarterback. It was always that defense keeping him in every single game, which that's what he's known for because he's a hell of a defensive coordinator. So, honestly, I don't think Vic Fangio got a fair shot just because of the situation he was put in. But now that he's 65 going on 66, he'll probably never be a head coach again. He got his head coach opportunity. It just sucks that he had to wait 60 years to get it.
Well, and now he's I think he found he's found where he's ending his career.
Hanging out with you now up in Philly.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't realize he was from Wilkes-Barre. He's from like northern Pennsylvania, northeast Pennsylvania. So
now that you brought that up, do you like Vic Fangio being there, knowing that your defensive coordinator last year came from the Vic Fangio tree?
Well, see,
because Sean Desai was Vic Fangio's right-hand man in Chicago for the 7 years that Vic Fangio was there.
Right.
So they pretty much ran the same exact scheme.
See, different though.
Yeah, it is different, obviously.
The biggest difference with Desai was that Desai was not a proponent of the wide nine.
Yeah.
And the wide nine, because before that, I was Gannon and Gannon was also Vic Fangio's
Yep.
right-hand man in a couple of spots. So they ran a very similar style of defense. What made Gannon's defense so much better was that he ran the wide nine. Now the problem I had with his defense is that out of the wide nine, sometimes you would go cover, and that's not what the wide nine's about. You go wide nine because you're getting an a straightaway angle to the quarterback in a shotgun formation. And you're forcing the right tackle and the left tackle to make that first move great. That's what I tell you. Poof, and he's gone.
Nah, he sent a message saying he was getting some feedback, so I think he's just popping out to pop back in. Some of the
there you go.
He's enjoying some of the problems I had yesterday.
Only in Wisconsin do you get some of that good feedback from Wi-Fi. But yeah, so hopefully he'll be back. Sometimes he comes, sometimes he goes. Looks like he was taking it easy today, so that's all good stuff. In the meantime, though, it's like to finally answer that question, I like the fact that we finally got the creator of the defense. You know, it's like we've had all of the facsimiles.
Exactly.
Now it's like now you got the original.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see what it is your team can do this year. It it seems like you've gotten better. So we'll see if that translates to the field. But
yeah, on paper,
I'm actually more excited to
good.
see what you guys do than the way my team is currently constructed.
Well, and you know what? As I was thinking about this, it's actually maybe the best thing in the world for Pete Carroll to have gotten let go. Because now, if your team does go through a regression, which it looks like it's about to, it's not on him.
No, very true. I mean, at the end of the day, they wiped out the entire defense, right? So, I mean, whatever happens from here is not based on anything Pete had done, right? Now, the key offensive pieces are still there, but as far as everything on the defense, I mean, they basically cleaned house. So, I think they'll be a competitive team, right? Because the offense is still going to be good. The offensive line is going to get healthy. This defense, they have finally started to add some pieces. So, but they're all 1-year deals. So it's not like you're building to the future. I think this is just one of those, we let everybody go and we're like, oh, we have 24 guys for a 53-man roster. Maybe we should hire somebody. So, but they do have a couple of guys that look good. But they're all under 1-year deals, so we'll see what that translates into.
Well, and then they're going to have a lot of low price guys. That's the one thing I will say about Philadelphia as of late, that it has been a destination for players.
Yeah,
it never used to be.
Winning helps.
Winning helps, but it also it's. It hasn't been the spot that people want to go. But I think people are really starting to understand, and it may be also the whole Kelsey phenomenon that's helping this. That that you are you win a championship here, you get a statue. And there's not many places in the world that you could say that.
Yeah.
We build statues for our champions.
Yeah.
It happens in Philly.
Even movie champions.
Exactly. So, I mean, hey, we win the Super Bowl. The first thing that they did was, you want Philly, Philly? They got it. They got it immortalized out there.
Yep.
It's.
Yeah.
It just happens. That's just the way it's going to be. So I want to know how they make that mold. That's a tough mold to make. But I mean, that's kind of cool that it's the only city I know of that actually occurs. I mean,
No, yeah.
Do you have Do you have a statue of any bag of Skittles out there in Seattle anywhere?
No, we do have. We got Griffey. We got Griffey here. There's a couple of statues around. There's a couple statues. So it's not that they don't do it, but
they just don't win a lot of championships up in Seattle.
Certainly not in the Mariners realm.
No, I would understand that, but you never know. There's always this year.
Is it? Is there though? Yeah, no. It's funny because Seattle is unique in the way that they also don't retire a lot of numbers, right? They'll put you in the Ring of Honor, stuff like that, but they don't retire a lot of numbers. They don't build a lot of statues. Because I mean, if they were going to build a bunch of statues, they definitely could have done it for Sounders guys, right? Because they've won multiple championships. So I mean, it's not that they're or any of the WNBAs that like what they won 3 or 4 of those. So I mean, it's not like it's devoid of championships all around, but it's just something that they don't do in the Seattle culture so much. Because again, I mean, you're not even retiring the numbers, let alone build a statue.
Right, you're not honoring anybody.
Yeah, we'll put you in the Ring of Honor, stuff like that, but you're not just out and out retiring numbers. Like the Seahawks are a great example. There's 5 numbers retired, and one of them was for the fans, number 12, right? So I mean, they just don't have a habit.
So that means no player will ever wear number 12?
Correct. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, so there was only one. I think there was 1 or 2 players that wore number 12 before it was retired for the fans. But yeah, a retired number. Inherently nobody gets it. The only caveat to that was the 1 year Jerry Rice was here. Steve Largent let him wear number 80 because it was a retired number.
Right.
But
that makes sense.
But Largent was like, "Yeah, you've broke all my records. Like, go ahead and wear this."
Huh. And how long was he in Seattle for?
What, Jerry Rice?
Yeah.
Oh, it was. I don't even know if he played the entire season, but I think it was just 1 year.
Got ya. I was gonna say it's
because he went to the Raiders and then he came to Seattle for a second.
Because you said he ended in Atlanta, didn't he?
Oh, I actually thought Seattle was his final stop.
That could be. I don't know. Yeah, it was all West Coast as far as I remember. I don't remember him ever being on the East Coast, but I don't ever remember him being with Seattle either. So it had to have been like a few games and said, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, no, he was here long enough to record a couple of touchdowns and that was kind of it.
Huh. That's funny that you say that because there's a much larger fan base there's a huge fan base for the Seattle Seahawks in Florida. Numerous places.
There is in Hawaii and there is in the Puerto Vallarta area also. So I mean, they're around. In fact, I guess Germany has a lot of them as well.
Yes, Germany's a big one.
Yeah.
Belgium, like I said, we know our guy from Belgium.
Yep.
He's a Seahawks fan. Yeah, like I said, I am in contact with. Interestingly enough, the Seahawks fan base in Orlando and the Seahawks fan base in Tampa, they're both pretty sizable fan bases. And I'm talking I think to the tune of 100+ members.
Oh, nice. Rob, they are actual Seahawk fans. Yeah. They remain Seahawk fans even after Russ moved on.
Yeah, in fact, Russ is the enemy now as far as they're concerned.
Yep.
So they're like, yeah, Russ who?
Exactly.
There ain't no Russ here anymore. And I'm a firm believer of that too. Like, hey, once the guy moves on, moves on.
Yep.
It's time to keep going.
Well, yeah, I mean, they moved on, so should you. That's more or less how it is. Now you want them to lose every time you meet up.
Every time. So, all right. Let's see if there's any other new news that just came across the. Nope, 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 nope. That's it. Yeah, there's like no news. I can't wait for baseball to start. That's really when and the games are still a little too early yet to report anybody that would have won or lost. Something good's in Florida. Hey, listen, you know what's really good in Florida? Yeah, and the Hawks are big in Germany. That is correct.
Yep.
So something good's in Florida. You know what else is really good? Reading the stories about all the people who do crazy things in Florida and get
Oh man,
arrested.
Florida man is the best.
Right. Who is the Florida man of the day? Because it's a daily thing, sometimes an hourly thing. They really go crazy down there.
Oh, actually, here we go. Here's something for you. I forgot I was going to make a graphic for this and also didn't get to this one. But so this is Shador Sanders. Oops. Let me get my volume going here. All right. So, yeah, so this is Shador on why he didn't come out. And then it's followed up by Dion. So here we go. Oh.
Because I'm trying to be the first quarterback off the board. That's really what it is. And I respect Caleb. I respect how he plays. He's a great player. It's different. Overall, it's a different tiers of quarterbacks. It's guys that are special, guys that are good, and guys that are okay game managers. So it's like you just got to understand like what player you are and what category you fall in. So I understood. I know this year wasn't my year, so next year I didn't have enough time at this level because it's a lot of things that go into it, but I just didn't have enough time. But on the field and so I feel like I'm just excited to be back with the team, to be able to have another year, to do things over again, to do it the right way. And I understand how Power 5 football is, which is pretty much the same. It's just, D-line get off blocks a little bit quicker sometimes. Because I'm trying to be the first.
The only reason I know that because don't you think I know people in the NFL? I'm sorry. I played for how many years? 14. Got a gold jacket at the crib, I think. I think I know some people. The Jerry Jones is that, Arthur Blank. I know some people in the game. Roger Goodell's, I know some people. So when I speak, I'm not just throwing stuff out of my head. I'm throwing stuff based on knowledge. So let's just get that straight. If Shador would have gone in the draft this year, he probably would have been the second. He wouldn't have been the first quarterback off the board. I think he had the ability, but he probably would have been the second quarterback off the board. Let's just get that straight. The only reason I know that.
So I don't think he would have been the second one off the board either. I mean, he has some talent for sure, but I don't know that I don't know that he'd been the fourth quarterback off the board based on the body of work so far. So now, obviously, some of it, he's a Sanders. So, I mean, he probably would have had a first round shot, but I don't think he would have been number 2 off the board.
He's going back for another year.
He is. They're just talking about had he come out this year. Now,
I
Dion
don't
is
think
the
he would
ultimate
have
hype train. So,
yeah, I got to imagine that the reason why he didn't go into the draft is because Dion knew he wasn't first round talent.
yeah. No, and that's what I mean is that like the only reason he might have got in the first round, certainly not as the in upsetting those top 3, but the only reason he might have even been in the top would have been because of Dion. I don't think it would have been necessarily the skill set making that happen.
And you can't take him that high.
No, exactly.
No, because the expectation is too large.
Mm-hmm.
But now He's trying to position him as the number one quarterback for next year's draft.
That's exactly right.
That's what he's trying to position him for, because he knows the money's much different then.
Absolutely.
And you think about that. If you get picked in the second round, it's probably better to stay with the NIL.
Yeah, I mean, certainly his NIL, right? Like he's making good money, as I recall.
Like $3 to $5 million, I would think.
Yeah, something like that, which is every bit of what your rookie contract's going to be.
Right. So it's better to stay right now in college and and live the life.
Yep. Yeah, because there's not crazy pressure, right? Because I mean, when you look at Arch Manning, his NIL deal, and he's not even playing. So it's definitely a little bit different pressure. Now you can't go out and suck, but you don't have the pressure as you would as a first overall pick to an NFL team.
Yeah, maybe I should go back to college and try to get myself an NIL deal.
Right?
It's like I don't know. I'm good at some stuff. I mean, I don't know how good a 50-year-old linebacker would be.
I'm going to go with you wouldn't have the speed required.
Yeah, or the longevity. You know what I mean? Sure. That's the hard part. I could probably, and I'm too small to be an offensive lineman.
Well, I mean, I guess if you made the roster, you wouldn't have to play. You'd never see the field. So as long as you get to suit up.
Hey, listen, if they're going to offer me an NIL deal just to go to the games and hang out and do that type of stuff, I would absolutely do that.
Absolutely.
Every time. Yeah. Yep. They give me the same deal that you gave Archie Manning, and we'll play the same amount of snaps.
Maybe AARP could use you. That's awesome.
that is perfect. There you go. Yeah, I could be the hype guy. I could be the hype guy on the team. Yeah. Every team needs a hype guy.
No doubt.
So I could absolutely make that occur. And just express to people, hey, listen, this is exactly what it is that we need to do to win this game.
Yep.
I don't know of anybody who's ever won the Heisman being a hype guy, but I would sure give it the college try.
Yeah, that's right. The NIL try anyway.
Exactly. Something to make it all work. But anyways, so I tell you, this is the hard parts about doing these shows here with no sports going on. Yeah, yep. I haven't even been to a game recently. I was doing my schedule here, and it's like the next game I go to is on a Saturday, and then I go to 2 games. I go to lacrosse and I go to,
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you got going on this weekend?
Yeah, so this I have Saturday is a Flyers game and a Wings game, and then Sunday is another Flyers game at 6:00. We need both these wins. We only got a point yesterday, which was good that we got the point, but losing in overtime to Carolina was a tough one. But
yeah, no, I think I mean, for this weekend, obviously, I'm just trying to finish getting moved into this place. But since I didn't do the Wings thing yesterday, I might do that for dinner tonight because it's actually been a couple months since I got wings now. So I guess it's feels like time. Feels like time.
They make wings here.
At the bar?
Yeah, I'm not that guy.
Are they? I was going to say, are they good? Because usually, I have a hard time buying wings at bars because it's usually just some terrible version of Frank's Red Hot on them.
So they don't do anything like that.
Okay.
The guy who owns this bar is a chef.
Okay.
So he comes up with very unique. The menu is literally 6 items. That's it.
Okay.
And I'm a big fan of that. Do your stuff right and do it only. Bang, done.
Yes.
They make smash burgers. With a very unique way of doing it. It's like that's their thing. They make wings, and you get like 7 or 8 wings for $15. So you're getting them with a very special sauce on it and such like that.
Are they the big wings? Or are
They're
they
big.
like Okay.
They're
Okay.
big.
So there's some meat on
So,
them. Gotcha.
yeah, you're
There's
getting.
nothing worse when you're like, oh, I get 8 wings and it's like $15. You're like, okay, well, these are probably pretty cool. And then they show up and they're like the tiniest wings ever. And you're like, oh, so now I have to swing by Burger King on my way out because I'm gonna be starving.
Yeah, this is a pound of wings.
Okay.
So you're getting a pound of wings for these.
Right.
So just I would prefer the little itty bitty wings for 50 cents, 75 cents a piece. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I tell you, when you were down in Clearwater and you went to Coco's, they have their happy hour was a buck a shuck or 75-cent wings, or you got the 75-cent peel and eat shrimps, but they're like 3/4s, the ones that you're doing the peel and eat shrimps, not like, 15 20s.
Sure.
So I'm saying 3/4s, probably more like 6/8s. It's probably where they're at. If you're from Seattle. You should know the size of a shrimp, right? If anybody doesn't know the size of a shrimp, we could talk about that at another time. It's when you say the number, that's how many's in the pound. So when you say 3/4, those are some big shrimp.
Yeah, exactly. That's the jumbo shrimp.
You very rarely see a 1-2. Like in fact, I think there's a 2. And I think you could get a 1, but who wants to eat a pound shrimp? 1 pound of shrimp.
Right, like that is a monster. Hopefully they cleaned it for you because otherwise, the mess is real.
That's going to be a mess. And I'm a big fan of all you can eat crabs too. I like crabs. I will put in the work for some crabs. You can get the crabs, get the Old Bay seasoning out there, mallet, newspaper over the table. You got to have like 2 pages of newspaper over the table. So that you don't want that stuff sipping through. And I will go to town. I used to do that as like my first date. I would take a girl in the summertime first date to go all you can eat crabs, because you will find out exactly what type of girl you get.
Yep.
From taking her to all you can eat crabs.
That's right. They throw down or not.
Yeah, they're like, I'm gonna get stuff under my fingernails. I know better.
No,
so
it was funny. We so this last summer, we're at my wife's parents' lake house, and their neighbors came over, and we were gonna have ribs, right? And these were barbecue sauce covered ribs, right? So like you're taking something messy and making it even worse, right?
Right.
So these kids from next door are vegan, right? And we're here just like ripping meat off the bone and barbecue sauce, like hilarious, because the looks on their faces were just horror, and we're just like, these are amazing. So yeah.
I'm a monster fan. Like I keep talking about it. I want to have a party where it's a tomahawk party.
Okay.
No utensils. You eat the tomahawk from the bone. That's it.
I'm with it.
Just go to town. Like that's I wanted to do it as a fundraiser for the Eagles Autism Foundation, where it's like you get and call it the lineman's ball.
Okay.
Because how do you get offensive and defensive linemen to an event like that?
Food.
You feed them. Hey, you're getting a tomahawk steak and wear suits, but we're gonna give you this glove that you're gonna wear that comes down halfway down your suit so that you could eat this right. Like give you a bib and all. Like it's gonna be perfect. So you wear the suit, but you're not gonna get it dirty because we are there to fucking make sure that you are gonna eat this steak right from the bone, as messy as you want to be.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
I like it.
I'm working on it. It's still another year away.
I'm just saying I'm showing up to this event.
Yeah. And it would be fun, like, because you'd have to charge an arm and a leg for it. It'd be like, it would be a $500 a plate event for people that are coming. But how often are you going to get to sit down with the offensive and defensive linemen of a football team?
Yeah, not very often. That's for sure.
That's how you get them there. You got to pay them some money.
Yep.
And give them a big steak.
Yep.
They don't want potatoes. They don't want any pasta. They ain't looking for any of that. Big steak.
I mean,
Monster
they probably
steak.
also want potatoes.
Yeah, but no, they don't. They could care less about the potatoes.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they want steak and beer.
Oh, I mean,
drink.
Yeah.
Or drink.
That's a given.
Yeah. And then something dessert. They want
Sure.
some dessert. Yeah, and more drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's. I mean, I'm sure I will have some asparagus, but because everybody wants the asparagus, because then then they're like, damn, it stinks when I have to go to the bathroom. That's what asparagus does to you, for all those people that don't know.
That's right.
But
the great outdoors porterhouse.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't eat the fat.
Yeah,
the gristle.
Yeah, the fat and the gristle.
Yep. Yeah, I would have tapped out on that too.
I can't do any of those eating challenges, but
yeah.
I mean, you put in front of me, and I'm in the right frame of mind, and I know this is coming. If I had 3 days to prepare, you gave me 5 pounds of meat, I'd eat it.
Yeah,
No
I
doubt
could
in my mind.
I could do that. It's one of those you can't show up starving. You gotta be hungry, but not starving.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, like if you knew it was coming and you kind of ate right ahead of it, yeah, you could smash through some food.
Right. So I would love to have those types of challenges. I'm a big fan of those challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that. Let's eat steak. I can definitely chow down on some steak.
Yeah.
I did the wing contest once. That was enough for me.
Yeah, I did it once.
I don't.
It was like 8 really hot wings, something like that.
No, I had.
You did for volume. I did it for speed because it was the Wild Wings challenge. Years and years ago.
Yeah, how fast can you eat 8 wings?
Well, it's their hottest wings. So it was. I forget what it was at the time, but yeah, it was like you had to do it in under 3 minutes or something like that.
Well,
again, it was a lot of years and beer ago.
So I guess, does that mean Wendy? Or do we know who Wen is?
Yeah. When is on our show in the comments here, just about every show.
I know. I've seen it. I just always thought that was a male. So since we're not going on a second date, I'm like, I don't know that we were going on a first one, Wen, because I thought you were a guy. But if you are a female, I never knew. You know what I mean? I mean, and I'm not saying that you're just not my type, Wen. If you are male, I don't go that way. You know what I mean? It's not. No offense to that. The crabs are a lot of work. That's part of the reason why you go on the dates. That's part of the reason. And I'm not trying to get more people in on the Hater Show for April 1st.
Man, took a left turn in a hurry. That's
I just wasn't sure. I read that. I'm like, wow, how about that? All this time.
That is amazing. Good stuff.
But all right,
not wanting your crabs.
Hey, that's where I thought somebody could take it. Like automatic.
That is awesome.
Hey, on that note, I think that we've done enough damage here today.
All of a sudden, the network, all we have is the colored bars across the screen.
Anyways, everybody, thank you so much for hanging with us this week. I know what a pain in the ass week it was with vacation and travel and everything and all this other fun stuff. So I really do appreciate everybody being patient with us and hanging with us today. We will be back again on Monday, bright and shiny.
Should be full staff on Monday too. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Which is good because on Thursday is going to be a challenge. Thursday is going to be one of your days because that's opening day, and I am going to be down at the ballpark from 6 o'clock in the morning. 6 o'clock
Oh.
in the morning on opening day, I'm doing an interview.
Oh, awesome.
They wanted me at 4:30. I'm like, I'm not going there at 4:30 in the morning. There's just no
That's fair.
chance that I'm painting myself up at 3:30 in the morning to be there at 4:30. Like
Yeah.
I'll get up at 4:30 to slowly start to paint myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm not doing that. So, but yes, 6 a.m. I'll be down there. Lucky
And,
me.
well, you'll have to call in while you're there.
Oh, I will. I will do that. Like that will absolutely occur because opening day is. Hold on, let me tell you. I want to say it's a 2:05 start,
Oh, okay.
3:05 start, but I'm not going to have the opportunity to. Like I will come on and we will show a couple of the tailgates and stuff like that. But it's going to be a tough one to be all day, like the whole podcast on.
Oh, no. I was just saying pop in, throughout the show from, random spots in there.
Absolutely, that will be a lot of fun, and I have 3 or 4 tailgates that I'm supposed to be running, or running into, which will
Awesome.
be good.
Those are always good times.
Exactly.
Definitely
Baseball
have to,
tailgates for opening day. Oh, there really is nothing really better than opening day.
No, opening day is always fun. Like that's
So,
always joy. Even if you don't make it to the game, going to the tailgates is a good time.
yeah, but I think even as far as opening day goes, it's the 20. Yeah, that night I actually have a game afterwards.
Oh yeah.
I go from the Phillies game to the Wings. Although I won't be changing the color, I will just be putting a Wings jersey
Color
over my.
touch up and change the jersey.
Yeah, just not. Yeah, I'm not even going to touch up the paint. It's going to be like, yeah, this is the Phillies, and here it is. I'm wearing a Wings jersey now.
Oh, okay.
That's how that'll work. So,
Right on.
but everybody, thank you very much for hanging with us today. You guys all have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday.